You can do it.
You can do
it. Come on, hello. Hey, Owen. If we have any more problems now, we about to get on somebody else's phone. I got a phone in my purse, my mama's purse. Hey, y'all. Oh, shit.
What it do, what it do.
Hey, y'all. Now you can hear us. Hopefully we get our love back. Yes, and now you can hear us and see us. Okay, so we are back. Thank you, Jesus. Hello. Okay, office romance. Hey, Owen. Office romance. The reasons why we talked very briefly about people's opinions, our own opinions, some stuff that we found was very important as far as office romance is concerned. So we're just gonna kind of just like recap that. So go ahead, let's recap. You go ahead, and I'll come back and you come back and let's go.
All right, let's go. Basically, what we were saying, our opinions on office romance is you don't get your honey where you make your money.
Hey. Right?
What some people do, because you get caught up in the time you spend, because how much you spend so much time at work, right? And then there's this thing called chemistry, and once you get that chemistry going, and you'll tell them what's gonna happen. So,
and I said, when you spend that amount of time with people, 8, 10, 12 hours or more, and for so many years on your team, especially if they're on your direct team, a lot of times you cannot help being around that person so much. Spring Branch Steve, what up? Thank you for coming back. So sometimes you can't help that, because it's like, I was saying, like, people have work husbands and work wives, and it's totally innocent, you know what I'm saying? Completely platonic. But sometimes, like you say, you can't ignore the feelings. You can't ignore the chemistry. So we were also talking about why it's important to know your company policy on it.
Absolutely.
And I asked, even if it's against your company policy, would you do it? And if you did it, how would you handle it? Tony says, we would handle it very discreetly. It has to be handled very discreetly, right? We talked about social media and how in the age of social media, it's very difficult because people get on and vent and rant. We also talked about how people can speculate and insinuate that something is going on between two people or more on a team. But if they actually have no real physical proof, then, it's just like, that's just their idea or their speculation.
Or their perception, whatever you want to call it. But the reason that we talked about social media is because, let's say you get into a problem or you have a bump in the road with that little romance you got going on, and you're still being discreet, but you start pouring out your feelings on social media. And you know what? These employers, they're looking at your social media, guys.
Yes.
When they look at it before they hire you, and they look at it periodically. If they start hearing rumors, they start going to your social media to try to figure out if they can tie some things together. And I've known people that have gotten fired for posts that they've made about a company, about certain situations on their social media, because they have no idea that their employer is stalking.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the thing is that the truth is that once you have that digital footprint, that web footprint, that's a digital footprint. That's forever. People don't realize. I mean, think back about MySpace. Almost every single person has, had a MySpace account back in the day. Okay, you might have forgotten your password. You might not go to MySpace. You might not use MySpace, but it's still there. That digital footprint is still there. And unfortunately, people are going to look back at that. Okay, so we're not the same people that we were in 2008 or 2007 or 2003. You're not the same person. Either you have grown, you could have experienced a life change, you could have gotten, relationship status changed. Anything could happen. You could have found Jesus. Who knows? Allah. You could have found anything.
You ain't find him on social media.
But that's right. That's right. So. No, but seriously, y'all. But you have that, and people don't realize. Hey, Ashley, welcome. Ashley, thank you, daughter. Hey, Ashley. So, a lot of times you don't know that you have that digital, and that's okay. Oh, and we see that she says he's driving, so he can't really actively participate, but he can, give a little emojis and whatnot. But you'll get a little time to get some people come back in and give their, and Steve had come on, and Steve had said, keep it discreet. It's better to keep it on the down low, basically, because, honestly, you're only human, and sometimes you cannot prevent it from happening. You know, now let me throw a wrench in it. What about two people who are married
That's what I was just
who
gonna
are
say.
having offense romance?
Yeah.
I will tell you that unfortunately it wasn't me. I was the spouse of a spouse and someone else who had a spouse that they worked together on the same team for the same department and they were having an affair.
8 times out of 10.
Yeah.
8 out of 10.
People that you work with, you're so close to them.
Yep.
Y'all know each other, all that going to lunch. All those.
Telling all your problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're listening. And they're listening. You know, I'm going to be the cleanup woman. I'm going to be the cleanup man. I know how to make it all better. People romanticize and fantasize about these situations. You know, it always looks good from the outside looking in. I mean, let's be real about it. You know, but the thing is that you don't have to live with those people. They don't go home with you. They don't wash your dirty drawers. They don't deal with your burnt food. You know what I mean? Let's be real. They don't have to deal with that. All they see is the pretty exterior when people walk into the office every day. There goes my baby walking up. Dang, she smells good. She looks beautiful. Every time I see her, she's on point. That hair is done. Her nails are popping. Her lip gloss, her lipstick is hot. Her makeup is right. Every time I see her, she's fire. It just happens. But the truth is, if you got to deal with her every day, or you got to deal with him every day, one man's trash is another man's treasure. It's always that way.
Yep.
You know? So it's a delicate balance, I think, when you're dealing with that situation.
You know, we were saying that you can't really tell your heart who to love, right?
Mhm.
So these things happen. We're human. But here's the thing about being discreet. Stay discreet. If I'm not telling you to do it, I'm telling you not to.
If you do it, though.
But if you
trust me,
do it,
what's up?
stay discreet until you know it's really going somewhere.
Yes.
Because let's say you're in that honeymoon phase and then for 30 days, and then on the 31st day, you have this killer argument,
How?
knockdown, drag out fight, and it will end up at the office.
Yeah, it's funny.
Everybody knows your business.
Everybody knows. Now,
Everybody.
you looking at him sideways, you throwing papers, slamming stuff on desks, you know, throwing keys at people.
Baby
giving people
boy was your perfect example. Remember when you
Yeah, look at that when I was looking.
Girlfriend's job. It was a girl he was messing with on there. See,
Making problems.
I was a
making
schoolgirl
problems.
of her, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is though, is that like you said, sometimes you can't avoid it, but so how you handle it is what's imperative at this point. So if you want to pursue it, Lacey is saying, if you decide to pursue the office romance, after you see that it really is going somewhere, she's saying abstain basically from social media and basically putting it out there. Because your company might not have a policy about it. They might not have a problem with it, especially if they're a family-owned company. You know, they think like a lot of people know, you know, hey, that's a good man or that's a good woman. They're a perfect match. They got no problem with that. Y'all keep your personal problems out of here when you're on our time. What y'all do over there is y'all's business. We don't want to see all that kissing, hugging, and butt rubbing and stuff like that happens. Because you know how people walk by and they tap them on the butt or, hey, girl, you know, give them a kiss on the cheek. Not appropriate in the workplace.
Yeah, or spending too much time at one's desk because that's your baby and you want to go over and talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
And you got work to do.
Yeah,
So
you're messing your team up now.
So most employers have policies that if you are involved, you can't work in the same department.
Yes.
Can't work on the same
Yes.
team. That way you get that airspace away from each other and you be productive over there and you be productive over here.
Yeah, they got a buffer zone.
Yes.
It's a
yes.
safety net per se, right?
Yeah, but there are other companies that frown upon that type of behavior and will not allow it. I have two situations.
Yes, please. Yeah, no, go ahead, please. We're gonna have her share the situation. I want you guys to do the feedback as well. You know, hey, let's go.
Well, I know of a situation where two people at a job that I had were forthcoming and honest about being involved.
Okay.
They wanted to be anybody else to the punch to make sure that they show the organization that they were being honest. They sit down with HR, had a conversation, and the person who is over the department, the person over operations, decided that it was not lucrative, even though they worked different shifts, even though he had no control or power, he wasn't in any position of authority, neither was she. They worked on 2 different teams on 2 different sides of the building. They let one of them go.
Wow, so they had to make a decision of who they were gonna let go.
Yeah,
So
so
it's like, which one of you is?
they let the person go that had the less service.
So less seniority.
Yes.
Wow.
The other
So it's
situation.
a casualty of war.
Yes.
Basically.
The other situation was real nasty, guys. I'm telling you. That's why I'm like, you can see something to look good, like, I don't want to risk it. Another situation was, and this is long term. This went on for at least a year and a half.
Wow, that's quite a while.
Yes.
Wow.
A young lady was dating this guy, and she was so in love with him. He chased her, pursued her, the whole 9, right? Totally, once she gave him a chance, she slowed down and caught him, and they got together. She became totally taken with him. They fell in love. They end up moving in together.
Wow.
The organization didn't know there was a relationship, but people around them did.
Wow.
So they got into an argument because he had been cheating.
Oh God.
And with other girls in other departments.
Yeah.
So, baby boy, one of the girls that he'd been cheating with on 3 floors up from where their department is, got transferred on that floor.
Help us, Lord.
Yes.
Help
She
us,
got
Lord.
transferred on that floor.
Jordan.
Okay, Jordan. So she got transferred, and she started wondering, well, we don't go to break as much as we used to. And the other girl, the one who was the one he lived with, was like, well, I couldn't find you. I went to look for you and where we normally go to break, and you weren't anywhere to be found. So long story short, they had an altercation on the outside. The other girl who transferred down smoked.
Lord.
He went outside to go straighten things out with her. Girlfriend finds out he's out there,
Oh,
and it's a
Lord.
knockdown, drag out fight.
Oh my God. All up on company property.
Now, nobody told that they had a fight.
Oh,
They
God.
came back in there and fixed their weave. Eyelashes. She was trying to rip her new one. So they came back to work.
You love this
The
movie
girl,
right here.
okay,
It's not
okay.
on my eye.
And the
Girl.
girl who got transferred down, she went home. She went home because she was so hurt.
Of course she was.
So they get home.
Uh-oh.
Have this big altercation between them
Lord.
2. So they broke up.
They broke up.
He
y'all.
moved out.
Dun.
But guess what? He made the girl who transferred to the department, the one he got beat up, he made that his main girl.
Oh, Lord. That made me so cheap. My main chick.
Yes. So the main chick is like, we gotta get back together, right? We're gonna work this out. All that time so him and her had been together 6 months. So she stayed on that job and watched them every day. Go to lunch together, and the girl was picking at her, passing by, and all that side eyeing her, the whole 9. So she was like, I'm gonna F somebody up. F you up. So she decided, the main girl, who's no longer the main girl, decided she wanted her man back. She wanted her man back. She went to his house. The girl was there because he had got a new place. The girl was there. He wouldn't let her in. She busted out all his windows.
Lord.
She went to jail.
No, I know you lost your job. Was you in jail? No call, no show.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
He went to jail. But
Obviously,
I was sick.
Okay,
God is good. God is good.
She didn't lose her job.
She didn't lose her job.
She was lucky.
They found out some of the stuff. They gave her back her job, but they put her in another department.
Well, that's good. She didn't lose her job.
So here's karma, though.
Yeah.
Here's karma. So the girl who was side-eyeing her, yeah, we together, that's my man, yeah, that's right, telling people we're moving together, we're this and we're that. Tell me why he slept with her sister and made her sister pregnant and married her sister.
that sounds like bro night on the 5th floor.
Okay. Married her sister.
Oh my Lord, that's some drama for your mama.
But
No, So y'all, Steve says, "Hey Steve, thank you for commenting." Steve says he has a traveling company job the job sites. He always meets new companies, bosses. He became the favorite, which is not hard because he's got a great personality and he's a hard worker, you guys. He said, I had to stop getting too close because it wasn't job